Hello and welcome to the official NoN-eSports YouTube channel. I am Kadoink, and today, spawning in the bottom left of Daybreak, we have our NoN-eSports player, NoN-Revex, as the red Terran. And up in the top right, we have our blue Protoss player, Tarranius, from Team AI. Tarranius is a Grandmaster player, so this is a TvP on Daybreak. For those of you who don't know, the WCS, the Blizzard WCS, is going on right now. It's a worldwide tournament that has 3 regions: Korea, Europe, and America. I don't know why that slipped my mind. I live in America, but NA, you could say. So actually, it's not even NA. It should be the Americas because it's North America and South America. Regardless, I'm going off point. NoN-Revex participated in the EU qualifier for Premier League, which is the top league. It's comparable to like Code S and GSL. It's a similar format. And NoN-Revex actually had a really nice run. He didn't quite make it to the finish. He didn't qualify for Premier League, but he went several rounds deep, which is very exciting for him, and got to play some really good players and performed really well. So hopefully we'll see him again at the Challenger qualifier, to see if maybe he can qualify for Challenger League, which is kind of the Code A version of WCS EU. So it's been a little while since I casted. Last week I was out of town, so excited to be back on the casting wagon. It's been pretty on and off as I've been traveling to and from Hutch to visit my grandma and uncle. Got a lot of things going on there. But yeah, I'm excited to be casting. We have an early gas from NoN-Revex, which has been pretty common in Heart of the Swarm because of a lot of plays like Hellion drops and things like that. We can see a pylon over here on the side, maybe to spot for drops sneaking past this natural. I don't know why the minimap wasn't letting me click, but sneaking past the natural, or just to hide some tech, which is very common as well. Curious to see what the Protoss player does. Have a cybernetics core going down, gateway, usual stuff. Probably will be going into an expand, some sort of 1-gate expand. We do see as 2 guys on each gas, so he's not fully committed to gas. We probably, I don't think we'll see super early aggression, but some fairly early aggression. And it looks like NoN-Revex's choice is the Reaper. Very common. It's something that a lot of players have been using. The Muslim is a good example of this. Very popular in a streamer. Made it to top 1 Grandmaster recently. Been doing a lot of Reaper stuff. I'm sure many of you have heard of the Muslim, but recently he started to play a lot better, which is very exciting. Hope to see him in some tournaments and see him perform well. So still not much out of Tarranius. He's getting that warp gate. He's getting that stalker up. We'll have to see what he decides to go for next. The Reaper just now popping in, and the stalker it's going to be a good choice, and there goes the Nexus. So it is indeed a 1-gate expand. This Reaper doing a little bit of damage, 1 kill already. Looks like he's going to get a second, but will he get a third? No. The Stalker is going to come in and try to ruin his day. Some probes falling. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, Reaper's going to hop down, spot the natural, which is exactly what he wants to do. Pick off even another probe. Yeah, he is going to get it, and then he's going to run off and use that combat drugs to heal up. Is this still called combat drugs? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Haven't ever had to say that in the cast, so not quite used to the names of all the Heart of the Swarm upgrades yet. So going to be going back up on the high ground and moving once again towards the mineral line. Try to pick off some probes, as many probes as he can. It looks like he's going to get another one. Pretty effective overall. The probes weren't able to trap him, so he's just going to hop back down. And, oh, no, he is going to... Ooh, almost lose that Reaper. Fortunately, NoN-Revex does not lose it. So in this meantime, what is NoN-Revex doing? He's getting up his orbital command at his natural. He's got 2 more barracks, so it looks like he's going to be going for some heavy marine play as they both have tech labs on them. We do have an engineering bay coming up as well as that combat shields, which also points to very heavy marine army because he's getting that early instead of the stem. If you were going for marauders, heavy marauders, you'd get that stem, you'd get that concussive shell. And of course you would have more tech labs than you would reactors most likely. So Stalker trying to pick off these. Ooh, a great force field going down, picking off one of the Reapers. The second Reaper is going to escape, but not before spotting the, Mothership Core. Ha! Mothership Core popping out at just the right time. Going to destroy that sentry down here. do some force fields if it needs to. And yeah, the game goes on. Interesting to see a supply call down. He must have missed a depot and all that Reaper action. That's alright. Would have much preferred a mule, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So he's gonna put down a turret, spot for DTs, this sort of thing. He has one even going up in the main. Very worried about that. The early gas could have pointed very easily to Reapers, but the problem is he saw, or excuse me, Dark Templar. Problem, of course, being that he did see this robotics facility. So I don't think Dark Templar are in our future anytime soon. Yeah, you wouldn't really go Robo Bay or Robo Facility and then get your Dark Shrine up. Unless you wanted to go some sort of Archon deal, but don't foresee that happening. We have the Marines moving across the map at this time. See if they can put a little bit of pressure onto Tarranius. He's getting his natural up. He's getting a nice little probe count on each of his bases. 13 workers in his natural and 16 in his main. We can of course see that only 4 workers were killed in total. So the Reaper harass overall I think was not exactly worth it. Fortunately, he did not make more than 2 Reapers, so I think it was a good choice. We have the probes moving inside, a nice little cast of the planetary nexus is what some people are calling it. For the mothership core, it's going to be pushing that off quite easily, and so NoN-Revex will just simply go home. It's nice to put on a little pressure, make sure your opponent is being honest, and not just going super hard econ and, you know, not building units. So, good play by NoN-Revex pushing. A smart move there. Continuing to put Marines onto the battlefield and not building much of anything else. He's got Stim almost finished. He's, of course, building a starport so he can get medevacs, which are oh so popular now in Heart of the Swarm because they have that nice handy boost. And yeah, a very Marine-heavy army. It's very interesting. Usually you see some Marauders mixed in, things like that. So how is Tarranius going to deal with it? Well, he's going to be going for Colossi, and Colossi are super good. Super good against Marines because of their splash damage, and they just do tons of damage to light units. And so NoN-Revex is gonna need to get some Vikings up to deal with that, and of course he is going to be moving before that Colossus pops, so he might be able to catch Tarranius off guard. But there is this observer here that is going to spot that. And with some nice force fields, he should be fine, but he's stemming forward. Some force fields going down. Not exactly the force fields he wants, but good enough to keep the Marine army out. It would have been nice if he had kind of cut that army in half and killed as much as he could with that Colossus. But another stem going in. Is he going to get the Colossus? The Colossus does indeed go down. That is a huge blow to Tarranius. And now this Marine army can do a ton of damage, killing these sentries super easily. The Stalkers aren't going to be able to do too much themselves. Zealot's going down very quickly. Luckily, he had enough energy for the planetary. What exactly is that called? Because I need to learn it. Photon Overcharge. He had just enough energy for Photon Overcharge, so he was able to push that out. Finally, some Marauders being mixed into the fray. I think this is a good choice as well, since he saw the Colossi. And he saw the Stalkers. More Stalkers than Zealots. Marauders happen to be very good against Stalkers. So switching into that, would have liked to see him try to put up a third at this time, but no, he didn't make use of that. He just went and did some damage, which is good. Getting that +1 armor, I'm sure he'll be starting +2 attack as soon as this armory gets finished, which is in his natural. He can even start +2 armor as well with the second engineering bay. And he's popping out the Vikings, which is exactly what I was saying. Pop out those Vikings and you can deal with the Colossus very easily, especially if you have a Marine army, you're going to need those Vikings to deal with the Colossi. Second Colossi just now popping up. The first one, of course, died, so Tarranius would have had a little bit of a bigger army if that attack had not occurred. I love that move by NoN-Revex, pushing in there and doing all that damage. We also have the Templar Archives going down. Looks like the very popular High Templar switch is going to happen. Storm, very effective. And I don't believe that there is a Ghost Academy. No, it looks like in the Structures tab there's not yet a Ghost Academy, but that's quite alright as the Templar Archives isn't even finished, and it's going to take some time for Storm to research, and then of course those High Templar to build up energy. So NoN-Revex moving out once again. This observer is going to spot him, and he has a nice little size of 4 Vikings that should be able to pick off this Colossi no problem. Tarranius knows that. He is kind of worried, thinking about going up the ramp, but this scan is going to be very revealing for NoN-Revex. He knows he can push in at this time. He knows 4 Vikings are plenty. Another photon overcharge going down. It looks like the Vikings are doing a lot of hits to the Colossus. The Colossus will go down, and the Mothership Core will be targeted, and the force field's actually kind of hurting Tarranius as the Zealots are not able to close, but it looks like his army is big enough, and this photon overcharge will force NoN-Revex back, so not able to do the damage he wanted to do. He did stop that Colossus count from continuing to grow by picking off another Colossi, and he saw that High Templar, and boom, the Ghost Academy goes down. So he knows that his opponent won't be transitioning back into Colossus because no matter what, he's going to be behind in Colossi, so he is switching to Immortals, which I think is the correct decision. NoN-Revex, of course, going to be swinging around to the third to make sure that Tarranius cannot expand, while in the meantime, he's got his expansion flying towards his third. This observer, of course, spotting it, is quite happy to see that it has not gone down yet, although, NoN-Revex is going to expand here. An interesting choice. Sometimes you want to expand towards your opponent if you want to put on the aggression and be aggressive and have your units more in the forefront, which is exactly what we've seen NoN-Revex do this entire game. He's been pushing forward, taking map control, and Tarranius hasn't been able to do anything really but stay in his base, just now taking his third. It's going to be a bit behind NoN-Revex, of course, as this orbital comes up. Got some SCVs coming in to do some repairing, and then they'll mine themselves. And yeah, everything is looking great. 2-2 just about finished. We have some ghosts popping out at this time. Not yet getting Cloak or Mobius Reactor, which is so-so. He should get it, but he's a little bit low on gas, so I'd love to see these gas geysers be taken. Some medevacs popping out at this time as he feels comfortable that there won't be any more Colossus. Actually, if you saw in the production tab, 1 Colossus did pop up, which I think is a terrible choice, as they actually make use of these Vikings that are in NoN-Revex's army. If Tarranius hadn't put that into Colossi, if he had put the resources into something else, those Vikings would kind of be a waste. They'd have to land, they'd probably get killed, and then once they've landed and you've killed them, should you switch back into Colossus and make advantage of the fact that the Vikings are down and they're dead. So at just the perfect time, NoN-Revex is going to be moving out to try to pick off this Nexus. The Nexus just, of course, finishing, so there cannot be a cancel on it. Marine Marauder Ghost Army with a good number of medevacs, actually 6 in total. And a nice scan going down. He's going to see everything. And will he get the EMPs? Oh, great EMP going down on the Archon. I do not see any High Templar at this time. Storm is not yet finished, and that is why. So it looks like the Terran army is just going to absolutely crush this Protoss army. Landing the Vikings finally as that Colossus died, just like I was saying. Some feedbacks going down, which is going to help a lot for Tarranius, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Stalker's going down. Looks like 2 Immortals and a couple of Zealots left. Zealots, of course, dying very quickly, and that Immortal's lifespan is not immortal. And the final Archon will die as well as this third. So a great attack from NoN-Revex, picking off that third base exactly what he wants. While his third is booming, we can see in the income tab, it's going to shoot very much in NoN-Revex's favor, especially as he starts throwing down those mules on that third. And now he's just going to go home. There's no reason to keep pressing. He probably could actually pick up this army, unless there are some good storms, of course, but he doesn't really need to do that much. He can just kind of pull back a little bit, regroup. You see these units streaming across, which is very smart. More barracks coming down at this third, which is a closer location. Rally points will be a lot shorter. NoN-Revex is playing this game beautifully. +3 starting for both players. It looks like Tarranius is a little bit ahead. We do have a scan going down. Let's see how much damage he can do. A great storm on the Terran army, but he is going to move out of that. Another great storm. That High Templar coming out of nowhere, and the Terran army just completely melts. We'll have to boost out of there. Oh, it's so painful to watch. I know that feeling. But, yeah, that's actually great. That's going to help Tarranius out a lot. He can start working on getting this third up again. There's not really any more pressure that NoN-Revex can do, so he is going to have to pull back, regroup, and now those mules come down, and look at that income tab, 1,700 minerals to just the measly 1,000 of Tarranius. NoN-Revex completely in control of this game. Just a little bit of a good play by Tarranius in that last minute where that those great High Templar storms went down. So a lot of gateways out for Tarranius. He is looking like he's going to be going back into Colossus. Just like I said, kill those Vikings, go back into Colossus, but NoN-Revex's game sense is perfect as he is producing Vikings once again. He does have a nice medevac count already anyway, so make use of that starport, get those Vikings out in case your opponent is going for Colossi, which he is, so Revex has got this game read just like a book. Second Colossus is now on its way, I believe. Nope, third Colossus, so we'll have 3 in total probably before the next engagement, and there will be at least 4 Vikings, so I think that Revex is fine in this position. Would love to see him take another expand. He is building his command center. I think he could have done that a little bit earlier, but no matter. It's okay. He's still up in income, he's still up in supply, and everything is looking good. He's going to be moving out at this time, only with 2 Vikings against 2 Colossi, so this could be a little bit risky, but with some good EMPs he can take out the shields. And here we go, a nice storm going down on the Terran army. He is going to be backing out of those storms, and the Zealots actually eating it pretty hard. And this looks like, this is just completely one-sided. The Terran player moving forward, the Vikings were picked off. A nice time warp going down, trying to prevent the Terran army from reaching, but 2 more Vikings come in from the side, and they will pick off this Colossi, and it looks like that's game. Ooh, this Colossus just going out in the middle and getting crushed. Yeah, I spoke a little bit too soon. I don't know why I said that was game. Probably because 3 dead Colossi are just absolutely devastating for Tarranius. He doesn't even have any Templar on the map. Another Archon coming in with some Zealots, but yeah, this is a massacre by the Terran army. If we look at units lost, actually it's surprisingly even. So Tarranius making some good trades, but he wasn't able to get those expansions up as quickly as he would have liked. And this Terran army is just picking apart these Warpins. Yeah, there isn't really much to say. Good game, Tarranius says, as Revex takes it. Yeah, that was over. I mean, there wasn't much Tarranius could do. Protoss is really about getting your Colossus up, getting your Templar up, and keeping them alive so they can be the big damage dealers, and using your gateway units to kind of be the buffer in between kind of the meat of your army, while the big power hitters are in the back. And since Revex kept picking off those guys, he kept whittling down Colossus one by one individually, going in when there's only 1 or 2 so he can pick them off before there's a big mass of 3 or 4. He was able to do absolutely incredible amounts of damage. So congratulations, Revex, on this awesome win. Congratulations on your incredible run at WCS. I was very impressed. Every day I was hitting refresh on the ESL website to try to see how far our non-esports players were doing, and I was very excited by Revex's play. Spoke to Legas and was like, you got to send me some of his replays for me to cast on the channel. So thank you so much for sending me this replay. Absolutely loved it. Send me more replays, of course, at kadoinkreplays@gmail.com. Or send them to Legas, and Legas can get them to me as well. And yeah, going to be continuing to cast and enjoy StarCraft. Please watch the WCS. It's very exciting. EU's been going on, Korea's of course been going on, and North America is going to start very soon. The Americas, I should say, is the proper, is how it should be called. And finally, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment. Please comment, love your comments, and I will see you guys next week.